right, Craig, thank you. Well, whether it's a school field trip or maybe a walk through the grounds itself, there's a lot of locals who have fond memories of the Ward Thomas estate. For one local woman, it's much more than a landmark. It's part of the family legacy. 33 News reporter Alex Mwali introduces us to this week's hometown hero and their heroic work over the last year.
Whether it was a school trip or a walk through the museum, most people in Niles are familiar with the Ward Thomas House estate, but few people know it better than Laura Altobelli.
It was, part of my childhood every day, so we spent a lot of time down here. My grandma was the historian of the house, and my grandfather was the groundskeeper, and he was the guy who actually fixed everything around here.
Home to the Niles Historical Society, the 5-acre property has a 15-bedroom mansion turned museum, a Victorian garden, and one of the few remaining glass greenhouses in the country. But around 7 years ago, it took a turn for the worse. The garden became overgrown and the greenhouse was nearly empty. But last fall, Altobelli decided to lend a hand.
When I got here, I was like, oh my God, there's a gutter this far from a glass greenhouse. If that cracks that glass, that's done, and it made me very sad. There was a lot of work that needed to be done.
After that, she recruited her childhood best friend, Brittany Jarrett, as well as some other family members to the cause.
She called me one day and said, can you come down and just help out? We're doing our fall cleanup. And when I came down, I just fell in love with the place. And I said, all right, what are we doing? What are we gonna do? How can we get this place back up on its feet?
Over the next 8 months, the two of them spearheaded the project, inviting more community volunteers to clear out the weeds and fill up the greenhouse.
I remember in probably March, April, I was standing over in that corner looking at the greenhouse, and it was maybe later in the day, and then I could just see all the color in there. And I was like, oh my God, it's back.
Since then, Altobelli and Jarrett have hosted events at the estate to spread the word that the neighborhood staple is back to its former glory. Now they're looking for more volunteers and funds to keep it going.
If nobody's coming here, then there's no reason to keep pouring money into it, But if the community is engaged and if they enjoy the property, then that's all the reason to keep it going.
Altobelli's grandpa, the estate's former groundskeeper, passed away last October, shortly after they started the project. But she says that's only motivated her even more.
I see my grandfather's notes on the wall, and I can follow his notes to figure out things, which is really cool. And if I can't find something, I'll be like, Grandpa, where would you have put this? And so I think it's just the connection to my grandpa and my grandma and all of that for me.
With this week's Hometown Heroes, I'm Alex Mwali.